what do you make of that? He's not wrong. And I've got the PBO report here. At this point, in 2022, most people under the rebate right now in all those provinces are getting more back. The PBO affirms that. So is Pierre Poilevre right to say that they're actually getting hurt by the carbon tax when the data shows they're not?
Canadians are being hurt by the carbon tax, Evan, plain and simple. It is driving up inflation. It is driving up the cost of groceries.
But you're asserting it. What's the data? I'm just saying, I just challenged him on the data from the PBO. You and I are looking. I just want to show people. This is the PBO report. He says, the PBO says by 2030, but the data shows now they're actually getting more money back than not. You know that.
And the parliamentary budget officer is saying that it's not the apple for apple on this. Families are getting further behind with the carbon tax, and it's driving the price of inflation, Evan. The simple aspect of this is when you put a carbon tax on the price of fuel and you increase it, there's a ripple effect of that. Not only is it increasing the price of fuel, how does groceries get to the grocery store? It's all these driven costs and the ripples that happen. So again, the carbon tax is one thing that people are paying, but it's the added costs when they're adding to all these other cost of living factors. When you add all of that up, Evan, again, the contrast is very clear of what we're offering. When you ask Canadians if they're further ahead or further behind with this, more and more are saying they're further behind on this. Absolutely.
But Mr. Duncan, let's not mix data and anecdote. So you said when you add it up, so let's add it up. When you add up the price on carbon with the rebate, where the backstop is, in 2022, not in 2030, they're actually getting more money, not less. We asked today Sylvain Charlebois, you know, the Dalhousie, the food professor, the Agri-Food Analytics Lab. We asked him, how much inflation is attributed in the grocery store to the carbon tax? And he said there is no evidence, this is what he told us, that it's driving up food. They have not had enough data to link that. You heard me ask Minister Wilkinson, but he says there's actually no evidence that it's changing the cost of food.
Well, and I disagree with that. I didn't listen to that part or that interview per se, but I will tell you, Evan, there is a correlation when you're adding a price to fuel and you're adding the carbon tax on. When you're going to triple it, it's going to drive up the cost of goods for Canadians.
But Charlebois said it's possible. He's not saying it's wrong, but he said there's no study on it. So I guess my question is, what's the study that you're basing this policy on?
But I'll go back to the same thing on 2 points of that, Evan. Number one, and the first thing is the cost of goods. When you talk to business owners, you talk to anybody, they're adding carbon tax, paying carbon tax in their bills. As a business, what do? They're passing that on to consumers. That means people pay more. There's a direct correlation in the flow of all of these things. In direct rebates to families, one thing, but the added cost to do business and do business here in Canada is not good for our economy, and it's not good for inflation or grocery prices whatsoever. But Evan, even more to your point is, we're saying through our message the last couple of days is an angle on payroll taxes going up January 1st, but on April 1st at least, don't triple the carbon tax at a very minimum to try to give people a break. There is a correlation, just keep more money in people's pockets.
They say keep more money in people's pocket. They're arguing that actually, again, in 2022, even with the increase, the rebate will put more money in people's pockets. But let me just talk about climate change. We're looking at Hurricane Fiona. I spoke to the mayor of Charlottetown today. He said this is the worst we've ever had. He attributes it to climate change. The Insurance Bureau of Canada has a study, which I also have here. They're calling for a spending of billions of dollars to mitigate damage because they say climate change is costing them billions. What is your party's climate change? If you want to get rid of the carbon tax because you don't think it's doing anything that hurts people, how do you battle climate change, which is, according to the Insurance Bureau of Canada, not the Liberals, it's a multi-billion-dollar series of disasters for us. It's costing us.
Well, so first things, again, the minister didn't answer the question part earlier about all these carbon taxes Canadians have been paying. Emissions are still going up. They have not met a single target that they have ever set, the original ones that were set by Prime Minister Harper or the new ones that they have set. So even with their whole plan, Evan, it's not adding up and actually achieving any results. We've been clear on what our plan is for environmental protection and lowering emissions and lowering pollution. Technology and not taxes. There's a few things.
But Minister Wilkinson asked you, like you flipped. Under Aaron O'Toole, you were okay pricing carbon. Now you're not okay with pricing carbon. Is that fair to say that you've gone from it was a good idea, now it's a bad idea?
The approach that we think is best, Evan, is technology, not taxes, small modular reactors in the nuclear industry, and there's a lot more things we can be doing, again, in terms of, I think, at a global scale, doing more production at home when it comes to Canadian energy, in contrast to other things, Evan. And I'll just say this about the same thing. The technology, not taxes. Canada can, more than any other country in the world, provide a better quality sector when it comes to oil and gas than anything else. What happens is, and what the government constantly does, is they cancel these projects and they don't proceed, and we pretend like the demand is going away. What's actually happening is we're instead importing oil, and again, other markets are picking up that have zero environmental protections.
They're spending $20 billion on the Trans Mountain, and it was the U.S. that canceled Keystone, and there's no proponent for Energy East. So it's not like they're not in the oil business too. They are.
They are deliberately and acknowledging closing down, phasing out the sector and the just transition. There are other countries around the world that are going to pick up that demand, Evan, and I can assure you they're not on the TV programs talking about emissions reductions, environmental protections, and human rights. We can use technology better, carbon capture and storage. We can use a wide variety of tools.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing
projects are delayed. Absolutely. Projects are delayed and everything those lines. We can do it here at home better. We can lower emissions by being leaders in Canada, by exporting it, not relying on foreign countries doing it.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, I know you don't have the rollout of the new environment plan, but I look forward to it. Eric Duncan, great to have you on the program.
Good to be back in studio with you.
Yeah, by the way, Mr. Duncan hasn't been in studio in how long?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Here.
So this is happening finally. We're finally getting back to a bit of normal where we can have these kind of good exchanges.